Hey all, Even here, and in addition to ripping off other tubers, I decided to sell out and make a soulless look at all the games I have that you don't video. If you missed the first part, I'd highly recommend watching that one before we move on. Here's a quick refresher though. I got a lot of old PC games that I played during my childhood and we're going through all of them. Why? Because I want to stall covering Rockstar for content. Anyway, let's get right back into the fray, boyos and goyos. Now last time we covered 3 of the backyard sports games. Well, 2 technically. My laptop had a bit of a tantrum when I tried to play one of them. But forget all that. First there was baseball, then there was football, then there was the other football, and now we have basketball. This was released around the start of the new millennium, and as such, practically everything is made up of pre-rendered 3D graphics. And boy oh boy, I gotta say, this looks just okay. I still vastly prefer the 2D sprites, but I suppose for something this fast-paced, it's cheaper to do something like this rather than hand-draw all of it. The kids from the past games you all know and love are still here, and like with football, you can make your own custom character as well. Well, we know how this goes, don't we?
Why don't you pick Slick?
As to be expected with this series by now, it's a very simplified version of other basketball games with that familiar courtside perspective, singular mouse control. It's just pick up and play, get in, get out, good old-fashioned basketball. And boy oh boy, if you thought the graphics were just okay, well I gotta say, this is just also okay. Like with soccer, I'm not particularly fond of basketball, so while I can have a fair amount of fun here, there isn't a whole lot to keep my interest. It's just another backyard sports game. Does the job, has the charm, but not much else. The celebrity guests they kidified here are also way overpowered. Like, look at these stats, jeez. They must be drinking a different kind of juice, if you know what I mean. Wait a minute. Alright, next up is Alley 19 Bowling. It's another sports game, and it seems this time it's a bit more grown up than the ones we've seen so far. Well, let's give it a shot. Huh? What the hell is this? No, really. What the hell am I looking at here? Boy oh boy, I gotta say this looks actually awful. And I'm not kidding this time, this isn't another boy oh boy bait and switch, this looks legitimately awful. Okay, so Alley 19 Bowling is bowling, and features these digitized graphics. I played a round of it, and there really isn't much here besides that. There's some multiplayer and options, but that's it, it's just bowling. And not only is it just bowling, it's just boring. And no, I'm not apologizing for that. Wii Sports Bowling is more interesting than this. There was a bowling game by the Golden Tee people, World Class Bowling, that was more interesting than this. This is just a depressingly ugly game. I guess if I had to think of one positive, I can make my character do this. I broke 100, that's all I need. Now I can finally be like my hero Charlie Brown. Good riddance. And let's follow that up with another Magic School Bus game. The Magic School Bus explores the worlds of the animals. Oh, sorry, just animals. Fortunately, I didn't have to resort to emulators this time, but it still didn't load up what I imagine is a horribly compressed version of the Magic School Bus theme. Hold on, let me fix that. There we go. Our goal here is to travel to multiple countries and environments, learn about tons and tons of animals, as well as locate animals that don't belong in that environment to transport them back to their home, and no thank you. For one, the kids were really annoying.
I can't wait to go to the wild animal park. I want to ride...
And for 2, as much info as this game offers, there doesn't seem to be a whole lot to it beyond that. I imagine you can skip all that crap and beat it in 10 minutes. Arnold turns into a frog at one point though. I thought that was kind of weird. Well, maybe now that he's cold-blooded, that'll prevent him from freezing his ass off on Pluto. Yeah, you remember that episode? They explore all the planets and stuff, and Arnold's annoying sister got a sample of Jupiter's red eye, and he got so pissed at her he took off his helmet in Pluto and instantly snowmaned? Don't worry, he just got a bad cold though. Turns out that's all negative 387 degree temperatures due to a person. Never mind how he would have likely floated into the atmosphere as soon as he stepped on the planet because he's such a fucking twig of a human being. Oh hey, look at that, it's Wheel of Fortune. Oh, we haven't touched this one yet.
No, we did do that, you're wrong.
Look closer. 2nd edition. Ha! Take that, overbearing fan! Alright, yeah, to be fair, 2nd verse, same as the 1st. But this 2nd edition actually does improve things quite a bit. It's the same wheel-spinning, letter-guessing, turn-losing, bankruptcy-inducing fun time it always is, but the presentation is vastly superior. There are far more camera angles, there's more sweeping movements, the environments are actually integral to the gameplay, even if it's just aesthetically, and there are even close-ups on the wheel, just like the show. I could even see Vanna this time, though she's still the same charisma vacuum she's always been. Regardless, both versions of the game do work fine on their own, but this makes the first iteration look far worse in comparison, and I much prefer it for that. Next up, we have Disney coloring with Mickey Mouse, and I'm gonna throw in Winnie the Pooh in there as well, because they're pretty much the same game. As the title so subtly implies, it's a coloring game where you make all sorts of creations with your favorite Disney characters and sell them on eBay to pay for your college loans. I spent a few minutes here and made some wonderful works of art. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, let's see what we have here on offer. Here is a nicely colored painting of Winnie the Pooh and his friends covered in shit. Here we have Mickey Mouse in complete darkness as he fails to surf on the sand in a vain attempt to escape Disney's grasp on him. And last but not least, an artist's rendering of a snowman sticking his nose up Daisy's ass. Alright, that's all we have to offer. Let's start the bidding at 10,000. Any takers? Oh, look at this thick boy. We got a double discer here. And it's robots. This here is another 2000s licensed platformer based on the only Blue Sky film that's actually worth watching, besides Ice Age. Oh wait, they did Peanuts and Horton too. Sorry, all these CG studios are just blending together for me. Truth be told, I never properly played this one up until now. I did try as hard as I could back then, oh I tried. But whenever I attempted to start up a session of robots on Windows 98, my computer would just internally combust and the game ran horribly. I don't even think the environments would load. All you could see was just a sky blue background and nothing else. A blue sky, if you will. Well, surprise, surprise, it actually runs okay on this newer computer, and I'm happy to report that my 9-year-old self wasn't missing out on much, cause it's just an average licensed platformer. It has everything you'd expect from one of these things, especially the collectibles. Fun fact, the game requires you to get them in order to progress rather than having them on the side for fun. And that kinda killed my interest in playing it past the 2nd level. Also, the controls are kinda wonky and this camera is pure garbo. I'll take the Harry Potter game over this any day, cause at least there I didn't have to find all the wizard cars in order to take the Wingardium Leviosa challenge. Next up we have Tonka Raceway. It's a racing game based off that toy vehicle brand. It's completely functional, the racing is fine, the top-down perspective is unobtrusive, but holy shit this vehicle is fast! Some of these turns are so tight I end up flipping over the edge and wiping out. Luckily, my opponent did that just as frequently, if not more, so I didn't have any trouble snatching first place for the 3 races I went through. Also, each time a race finished, I had broken some sort of record, and these 2 morons spent the next minute gushing over it.
You know, Jenna, I set a couple of track records in my time, too.
Really? You must tell me all about them. I'll take notes.
Why, sure.
Oh. It sounds like they're going to be doing a completely different kind of gushing later on. Other than that and a track creator, there's not a whole lot to this one either. It's just a very simple racing game. And really, that's all it needs to be. Reader Rabbit Preschool. Another Reader Rabbit title, which means another Learning Company title, which means, you guessed it, I barely got past the intro again. I do vaguely remember going through this once when I was, well, in preschool. And it has you solve a bunch of preschool level problems to get keys to unlock a gate to Unicorn Island, or whatever the hell it was called. Oh, jeez. That's a lot of keys I gotta get. How the hell is any preschooler gonna get through this without losing focus and oh, wait, what was I doing? Oh, hey, Family Feud. Yes, another game show game. And yes, another Hasbro game show game. Anyway, Family Feud is not one of my particularly favorite game shows, but I like it well enough, and I remember having a lot of fun with this PC title. The presentation is similar to what they did to the second edition of Wheel of Fortune, but of course there's a slight difference in gameplay, and it plays out how Family Feud normally plays out. You pick a family, which you can custom create if you so choose. I only went with one person to keep the humiliation at a minimum. You face off against another family, you're given a variety of surveys where you guess the most popular answer to get points. The family with the most points by the end of the 4th round wins and gets a shot at bonus money as well as a vacation to Cuba. Yep, that's a Family Feud experience. Going through it, I can say with the utmost confidence that it is decent. These character models look like crap, well, except for this one of course, but it's well paced, it is pretty exciting, and a good representation of the show. Also, having endured Vanna White and her robotic personality for 2 games, seeing someone with actual charisma like Louis Anderson host this thing was such a relief. He wasn't really being that humorous, but he at least seemed like he was having fun during his green screen sessions, unlike Mrs. Black. That said, what's always been the best thing about Family Feud is laughing at stupid answers, and it's not really that funny when an AI does it. It really is a family experience, so to speak. I would have tried that out, but my childless family is now also wifeless because that bitch lost us the free airplane ride, so currently I can't get the full experience. At least I can see Louis Anderson do a little dance here. I mean, I think that's what he's doing. He might just be having a stroke. Whoa, we gotta hurry. Okay, I'll apologize for that one. ScoobyDoo Showdown in Ghost Town. Yippee! Another classic cartoon character I grew up with that had their own PC games, and it's a point-and-click one at that. There is the issue of it being another Learning Company title, but there's still a bunch of Scooby stuff that I can still enjoy at my age, so maybe this time it'll be different. And starting things off, the game doesn't look that bad. Character designs are pretty good, and whenever there's movement, it's nice and smooth. There's even a mechanic where Scooby and or Shaggy won't do anything unless they're fed Scooby snacks, which sounds kind of annoying, but it fits. You know what? Yeah, I could get down with this. Let's go solve this ghost town mystery. Ghost! So we're in this ghost town, and we can walk around the ghost town, and we can look around the ghost town, and there's some weird moaning in the ghost town. Oh boy, 4 scary 5 me. Ghost! But no, it's just this old man tied up in a chair. After finding a few keys to unlock him, he introduces himself. He seems like a stand-up gentleman.
I'm Artifact, Professor of Archaeology. My students and I have been excavating this old ghost town. I was working here in the saloon when someone grabbed me from behind and tied me up.
It's a good thing we came along. Where are your students?
Most of them have been chased away by the Faceless Rider.
Alright, let's just ignore that and continue. Ooh, here's a pie-throwing minigame that you can use to restock Scooby snacks. Okay, that fixes one complaint. And then after that, we're back in the ghost town. Walking around the ghost town, and there's a lady trapped underneath a stage in the ghost town. Okay, just gotta do a puzzle to free her. I have no idea how this works, so let's just click on all these bags until she's freed, and boom.
I'm Jenny Lariat, by the way. I'm doing research on hauntings in the Old West. Note. Faceless rider spotted in
At least
saloon.
it's not obvious. Anyway, back to the ghost town. Walking around the ghost town, we find the sheriff of the ghost town. He introduces himself as the sheriff of the ghost town, and he hands out trivia questions about the ghost town. Go! Oh hey, it's baby's first board game, Candyland. Oh hey, it's another General Mills CD-ROM. Oh hey, I can't install it. I'm not really that disappointed. It's not like I've been itching for some Candyland action for the past decade. The only real reason I wanted to check this out was because I distinctly remember them using a very distinctive sound effect.
Purple candy. Find the first square that is the same color as your candy.
Yep, I thought so. More like Candyland Zone, am I right? Alright, what do we got here? Ooh, another SpongeBob game. Battle for Bikini Bottom. Yeah, this is that one licensed platformer that people actually liked. I mean, I never owned it for my poor GameCube, just the movie game. But hey, that was fun too. And IIRC, this is pretty much the same game, just with an original story. So it's gotta be good. I do remember something about this version being a little off. Nah, it's probably nothing. Well, with a remake on the way, now's a great time more than ever to see if the years have been kind to this'n.
Whatever.
Huh, why does that seem familiar? Nah, it can't be anything, it's... oh. Oh no, oh no. Oh shit, oh fucking shit, oh fucking shit, no.
Get lost. Dipsqueak. See end.
Wait, text-to-speech? Well, I got bamboozled, fellas. Instead of the epic 3D platformer that all the cool kids are playing, we're stuck with another fucking cheap minigame collection. There's a bit more variety in the minigames here, though. We got vine swinging, bowling, Frogger, shove it, matching. Is that really the best you could think of?
Money, 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 money.
Oh, you hear that? They got Clancy Brown back.
Money, 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 money.
Oh, I'm never gonna get tired of that. But once again, the true star of the show here are not the cutscenes. I mean, they are here, but they're not as prevalent. We're talking about the trivia segments, where you have to answer 10 questions related to SpongeBob. You know what? I know a lot about SpongeBob, so I can tolerate this.
Money, 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 money.
Good going, learning company. Good job. Good job. You lost me. You lost me.
Get me out of this here brig before I decide to make Squidward Employee of the Month.
Oh, never mind. I guess that was just a soundbite. I forget that. Let's just try answering some questions and see how far we get.
What is Mr. Kraft's last name?
You fucking lazy shams of developers cheated me out of an actual game in place of fucking Spaconia! Fuck you and fuck all the people who invested in this. You ruined my fucking childhood! Okay, here we have Toy Story 2 Activity Center. On the one hand, I do love that film. On the other hand, it's another fecking cheap minigame collection. Well, let's see what kind of rootin' tootin' laser shooting activities it has in store for, What? What's wrong? The files are all here this time, it should install. Huh. Looks like the video game gods blessed us once again. Yes! Moving on. Oh hey ho boy, it's Jiminy Cricket Big Ticket. Oh hey oh boy, it's Jimmy the Nut. Oh hey oh boy, it's Jimmy Neutron Boy Genius. Oh hey oh boy, this is one of the worst looking games I've ever seen. The disc has two versions of Jimmy Kimmy available, a 32-bit version and a 64-bit version. Sadly, I couldn't get the latter to run at all, so I resorted to the former, and flickering. I mean, it's not completely broken, but look at this crap. You think I'm gonna spend an hour of my time looking at this? No, I'm only gonna spend 20 minutes. I only managed to get as far as the first race with Nick before I got sick of this crap. Even if there wasn't any flickering, I doubt it'd be worth it to go much further. I'd probably just be greeted with more motionless Carl Weezer.
Watch as I stand uncomfortably still and only move my mouth when I speak. I want to bang your frizzy-haired mother, Jimmy.
Unsurprisingly, all did the work for this thing again, and while at least it's an actual game instead of the cheap minigame collections those SpongeBob ones were, it ain't worth playing. Sorry, Jimmy Neutron. I'm gonna have to put you in the ground with your brethren. Oh, please don't be shit. Please don't be shit. Please don't be shit. Oh, thank God. Another Freddy Fish game. Just knew she'd get us back into gear. And unlike the last one, I can actually play this thing straight off the disc. This time around, Freddy Fish and her buddy Luther head out to school one day, only to find their teacher and classmates being all sad and emotionally scarred because their toys got stolen or something by a mysterious ghost haunting the halls of their peaceful educational safe haven. So it's up to Freddy Fishy to get the toys back. And after chasing said ghost around for a bit, she comes up with an extremely complicated plan to make a trap and capture the ghost. Are we sure she's only 4? To build the trap, though, they need a lot of materials, so that's what we spend the majority of the game doing. This is also where the randomization comes into play, as every time you start a new game, the items needed for the trap are different. Yeah, it'll take a little bit of time to get all the sequences to get these parts, if you're so determined to do so, but this just results in the game having even more replay value than the first one, making for a much meatier experience. The amount of back and forth can get kinda tiring, but the amount of areas to explore and puzzles to solve are also much greater and far more fun, IMO. The visuals and backgrounds are still fantastic, and Freddy's much less shrill this time around.
Luther, no! You'll get hooked! Huh? Hooked on junk food? No, I mean there's a fishing hook stuck into that worm doodle. Freddy, you saved my life. What could I ever do to repay you? Stop overacting.
I knew they would listen to me. Who cares if I was a sperm cell at the time? I wanted to make this game the best thing it could possibly be, goddammit! All in all, this is a great sequel, and a pretty good game on its own. Taking everything the previous game did, expanding and refining the mechanics, all while maintaining the pure charm the series practically lives on. By the end, you also get to see a gloriously seamless Rube Goldberg sequence as you unleash the trap on said ghosts, which turn out to be the Shark Boys again. The whole lesson learning part isn't nearly as schmaltzy as the last game either. It's actually surprisingly touching. It's like, why'd you steal the goods? Well, the boss never had a toy of his own.
Hey, have my toy instead.
Thank you. Stupid fucking fish.
Don't worry about it. Time to sing.
And hell, let's just cover another sequel. Last time we looked at Harry Potter and the Sorcerer's Philosopher, a nice, albeit piss-easy platformer that retold the first book's plot in a horribly lazy way. So let's see if the sequel, Harry Potter 2, The Sorcerer Rides Again, the Chamber of Secrets, fares any better. Well, they did up the cinematics a bit, as there aren't any more of those PowerPoint cutscenes. They're still skipping a lot of context from the book and film though, so take one step forward and fall flat on your face. That said, there are a lot of notable improvements that definitely put the second game well above the first. For one, the controls are much more smooth, especially when it comes to casting spells. In the last game, I had to practically break Harry's arm to get him to aim where I wanted. Thankfully, this time around I had absolutely no trouble with aiming, and I can cast all the spells I want. Another big issue I had with the last one was how linear it could be. There were hints of it being a freely explorable hub world, but there were too many closed areas, dead ends, and more importantly, not enough secrets to look for. With the sequel, hell yeah. Hogwarts is now completely open to Harry, and it's full of all kinds of hidden doors, goodies, and lots of beans, which provides plenty of incentive to explore every nook and cranny of the big old castle. It's kind of Metroidvania too, as some places aren't opened up to you right away until you get the corresponding magic spell. The levels themselves are also much more consistent in length and substance, and they even redesigned the spell challenges so that's more about finishing it as quickly and complete as possible, rather than just getting through it in general, which makes it far more exciting. I think I'm starting to see how Metroid Prime ended up being my favorite game of all time. Harry Potter and the Chamber of the Secrets showed me the way. All that said, it's still piss easy, and some of the later levels do drag pretty hard. But hey, at least they updated the character models so that their faces moved, and you know what, the voice acting is still pretty good.
The rain has stopped. At least we'll be dry when we get expelled. Come on! We'd better get up to the school.
These knockoff Daniel Radcliffes and Rupert Grint's do just fine. I really like this one. I like this one a whole lot. I'm starting to feel pretty good about this series again. I feel like I'm ready for anything now. So let's stride on to the next one. Oh, Oh no. Oh
Time for
no.
Teletubbies. Time for Teletubbies. Time for Teletubbies. Time for Teletubbies.
Dipsy.
Where have the Teletubbies gone? 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 Where have the
What? Oh. Oh. I guess we're now looking at Elmo's Deep Sea Adventure. Great. Hold on. Maybe this game's files were wiped too. And we're stuck with it. Okay, Sesame Street is still good in terms of educational kid stuff, so maybe it'll be a bit more bearable this time. So we gotta play as Elmo, obviously, and use a submarine to explore the deep waters in search of buried treasure at the request of Grouch. Fucking lazy prick. Well, that sounds easy enough. Let's start looking around. Oh, God! Why is this so fast? Elmo's going around here like he's had one too many cookies. Look out! Oh, wait, wrong character. Yeah, this is a little, peculiar, but it's not unplayable, and it's not terrible in terms of structure either. But once I got to this section where this pink-ass purple bitch asked me to put shapes together, I checked out. Sorry, fellas, Elmo's just gonna have to stay here forever, trapped in a metallic prison to face a watery doom. And next one up to bat, we got Playground Sports. I'm never gonna catch a break, am I? So, this was released back in '03 by Cat Daddy Games, and if that sounds familiar, it's cause they're the schmucks that made the Carnival Games series years later, further contributing to the shovelware cesspool of the Wii era. I'm so happy to find out that they were doing this before then. What we have here is a clear ripoff of the Backyard Sports series with 7 games that fall under the moniker of Playground Sports. Some of the sports have their own variations, but here's the catch to that. It's single player only and there are no other features besides a high score system. Even if these games were incredibly fun, with this kind of format they'd be nothing but time wasters. And big shock, none of the games are fun. Let's quickly go down the list here. Foursquare boils down to a rally between you and 3 AIs. If you screw up, you lose. The physics are whack, the controls are awkward, and these character models are horrifying. Football amounts to catching a bunch of Hail Marys to get a bunch of points. The physics are whack, the control is awkward, and these character models are still horrifying. Dodgeball has you smack other players with the titular dodgeball to get points. Versus 10 wins, the physics are weak, the controls are awkward, and these character models are even more horrifying up close. Kickball is like backyard baseball, but if it was 50 times slower and you could aim anywhere you wanted before you swung, or kicked in this case, the physics are even more whack, the controls are even more awkward, and it must be twin day because there are multiple variations of the same horrific character models here. Jump rope is like DDR for infants. It works, but just look at it. Oh, and the character models are still horrifying. Basketball is an excruciatingly snail-paced round of pig, horse, or free throw. It's probably one of the better functioning games, but you'll have aged 4 years by the time it's over. And yes, the character models are still horrifying. And last but not least, tag.
Oh no, you got me.
Now, I'm not knocking the concept here. We've all played one of these sports back in our school days, right? I know many of you out there still long for those days where you didn't have to have a care in the world. The times you'd play Foursquare and gravity would be cut in half so the ball floats around a bunch. Or the times you'd play kickball and it didn't matter if you were the weakest soy boy on the school grounds. Anyone could kick the ball into the stratosphere. No, that's not how it went? Someone should tell Cat Daddy that then. Bottom line, the execution of these playground sports is very, very lacking, very, very lazy, and it all adds up to a very, very, very bad time. Don't look for it, don't buy it, don't play it, not even for a larf. So let's forget that shit ever happened and move on to Nickelodeon Party Blast. Well, it looks slightly better than playground sports. This here's a party game created by Data Design Interactive, and yes, I was just as surprised to find that out. It also seems to be one of the last games they made where they put in some form of effort, and it still sucks. Yeah, it has all the popular Nickelodeon characters of the time, it's even presented decently, but this is yet another cheap minigame collection. To be fair, it barely raises itself above that by being multiplayer, so now it's just a lazy take on the Mario Party formula. And yet there's no real structure here to hold up the minigames besides, well, the minigames. And boy and howdy are these minigames drawn out, chaotic, poorly controlled, and just boring. I'll take it over Playground Sports, any of Oz Nickelodeon related games, or hell, any of DDI's later works any day, but there's the reason IGN gave this thing a 1.1. We could have stopped Ninja Breadman, folks. They could have stopped it. But you just wouldn't stop buying this crap, would you? Well, it seems like we've reached the end of the second part, and there's still a whole stack of this crap to go through, as well as the mysterious CD pack. What could these games be? What else have we not looked at yet? And the most important question, of course, is will the Wii Zapper finally do its job? Nope, guess I'll just have to continue living in this miserable world. So thanks for watching, and don't forget to dislike the video, unsubscribe, and report the channel to the FTC so I can get fined $42,000 for having this labeled as for kids while saying things like, "Those fucking tit-faced cunts are a bunch of shit-brain hacks," and who knows what